Good morning. Morning, team. Here we are again. I actually had a dream last night, and it was actually a nightmare. Uh, Took me back to a time, my first time getting attacked in the shower block at Pentridge. And I thought, well, as soon as I woke up, it's going down on the real sus. You half I get declared. There was something wrong with you. Why is he pulling his door shut? You know what it's like. Well, if you don't, that is what it's like. So anyway, we were having a coffee, and the screws came in and gave us a drill for uh, having the door closed. But in that time, my friend had told me a few ins and outs, do's and don'ts. Keep your head down, go on with it at the drop of a hat. The basic thing anyone will tell you if you go to jail. um, yeah. But one of the things he said to me that stuck with me was, if anyone says anything to you, mate, just go on with it. Just drop what you're doing and go right on with it. It's first time it happens. First interaction, first drama, first one tries to get it over you, even in a subtle way, that's how it starts in the early days. It's subtle, You don't want that dessert, do you, mate? You know what I mean? When you know you want it, but you give it, that sort of stuff happens, right? And he says, any of that shit starts, just go on with it, mate. You're from Menzies Ave, if you're one of the boys. We've got to stick staunch and fly a flag. So, and I knew there was other mates of mine in other divisions in the jail. And the night I first got there for that lag, and a month before, people were calling my name as I was walking up the tier, which it was comforting, actually, that was, to know that I had a couple of people in there that knew me. But anyway, I digress. So I'm in A division. I've been there a day. I'm having a coffee with a mate, and he lived in a different unit. It had been separated at this point. A division had been turned into A1, A2, A3. They'd opened up H division. That was no longer the slot. They had what they called the PMU, the Prisoner Management Unit. And the H division cells were just opened up as more A division cells. So yeah, I'm living in that unit. Been there a couple of days. First canteen, and I was walking back to my cell, and I was in A1 part of the system there, part of the building. And as I was walking back to my cell, I looked up. It was only a 2-tier unit. I looked up. There was a few guys leaning over the rail. One of them says, "Hey, young fella, kick that coffee up to me," or something along those lines. More or less, give us your coffee. And without even thinking what I was about to say, I said something along I can't remember the exact words, but it was basically, if you want it, if any dog wants this coffee, they have to come and take it. And as soon as I had said those words, you could hear a pin drop in that unit, in that division. And my arsehole went like that. And I knew in an instant I just created myself much more drama than I really, really wanted. But anyway, that was the way that happened. So went to my cell. Nothing happened. I knew when the whole unit went quiet that there would be repercussions, but and I realised how quick and how hectic the repercussions would be over a tin and Nest Cafe. Within half an hour of that, I was getting close. It was getting close to lockdown time. Back in Pentridge, we'd be locked in our cells by about 3:30. Excuse me. There's an early lockdown system. I think they might still have that system at the MAP. Don't quote me. I've been in jail for a while, but I think they're pretty sure that if the core, I think they're called the government screws, if they're running it, they will be getting early lockdowns, which is way better for the crims like that better. So anyway, we're getting close to lockdown. I thought I'll go down and have a tub. And now this is the days of share them together. This is before all this Port Phillip, everyone's got a shower, you know, you can wear your robe and fucking slippers and all. Mate, you wore thongs and a towel, you carried your towel and you walked down to the fucking shower unit, right? And you waited your turn. There'd be a line of 8 naked blokes waiting, 4 guys in there tubbing up, talking shit, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a footy club, mate, you know what I mean? No one would be fucking embarrassed or any of that shit. Anyway, but what did happen a lot in that area, because it was an enclosed area away from the screws box, there was a lot of fights went on in there, like organised fights. I meet in the shower block in 5 minutes, and etc. etc. So anyway, I'm just in there having a shower, totally oblivious. Is how dumb I was, and naive I was. Totally oblivious that there'd be any repercussions after just declaring the half of A division, or more or less calling the division out. And I'm an absolute nobody. It never have been. You can imagine me when I was 20 years old. You know, I came from an area that had hectic people. I knew some hectic people, they were friends of mine, but me, heck, I'm not a hectic person at all, mate. I'm just a good bloke down on his luck. So anyway, I'm in there having a shower, tumbling up, you know, doing all that, and all of a sudden, I just felt what I thought were punches, just bang, 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 and I fell against the wall, and it was all stainless steel, like aluminium wall. You know, it's this old shitty Pentridge, and they'd put up some splashback sort of stuff for shell walls, you know. And anyway, so I was bouncing off that shit, and then it didn't take long for me to hit the deck. And then my head was bouncing off the thing. Anyway, I just thought I was getting beaten up, but when I hit the ground, I noticed the water had green tinge to it, which then I noticed here, but 35 years ago, here is a step. It's there. I know you can't actually see it, but 30 years ago, yeah, stab. And I saw that hole. And immediately my blood boiled, and I got angry and I wanted to fight back harder. But mind you, I'm naked, covered in soap. There's 3 other blokes showering, another bloke fucking throwing punches at me. And yeah, I had 3 holes. He had stabbed me here. Sorry if you're not seeing that. He had stabbed me here. He had stabbed me here, and one here, here somewhere. I mean, they're not big stab holes. They were never going to kill me. You know, it wasn't like he didn't come in with a 12-inch carving knife. He came in with a rod out of a metal mop bucket that he had scratched an edge into. Because it was thick and because it was old and because it was not made right, it didn't go in deep. But it did damage. Like, it hurt. Like, fuck. Excuse me, it did hurt. It really hurt, man, and made me angry. So I'm laying there naked in soap and blood, and the guy's taken off with those other guys having a shower. It was like nothing had even happened. I swear they did not bat an eyelid, which was another eye opening for me. But yeah, I jumped up, grabbed my towel, and quickly just ran from the shower block thing to my unit. Now I lived on the 2nd tier, so I had to run through the middle of the unit and up a staircase, and then across the tier into my cell. And obviously I had to run past the screws box and everything. You'd swear I was invisible because no one said one word to me. I got blood running down me, soap and shit all over me. I'm naked, got my towel, and I'm, no one said anything. And then I got to my cell. I'm cleaning myself up and I'm revving myself up, and then my door gets kicked open and couple other blokes. Totally, I'd never met them before. Fella by the name of Ricky Neve and I can't remember the other guy's name. Might have been Eddie and Mary. Who, if anyone knows Eddie, Eddie poked his head in the door and tried to give me a, now don't go fucking lagging, mate. Which if anyone knows Eddie, at the time I didn't. I was only a kid, so I just said, I'm just saying nothing. I'm going on with it, mate. And so I was getting ready to go back and back up for getting stabbed. I was still fuming. I wanted to fight someone. I wanted to, and I knew if I didn't do something, next time it would be more than 3 stabs or next, you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't have stopped. It would have gotten worse and worse and worse. So it had started at a really bad spot. It had started at me getting shivved. So, and anyway, I remembered as the fight was going on, the bloke doing the sneako, he let something rip about who do you think your mates are in this jail? And I thought, just me mates, my menzies have boys. And I dropped a couple of their names. And because I knew they were in the system, I'd caught up with a couple of them, I'd seen it through a few of the gates, whatever. So I mentioned a few names. And the guy said, you think they're on your side, do you? So it made me think maybe I'd been set up a little bit there, which I don't know. I don't know why or what for, but it's no big deal. I think maybe I got a funny feeling that the person who set it up just did it to see how I'd handle myself. And I'm hoping that's what it was. I hope there was nothing more to that, because if there was, it means some things have been left unsaid. But anyway, that's what happened, man. I was stabbed, man, just like that. Just like that, mate. I was there one day. I bought my first canteen. I was wrapped. I had a big coffee tin. And the guy said, kick it up here, young fella. And without even thinking, if you want it, come and get it, dog. Yeah, so that, I'm not going to say I deserve to get stabbed for that, but that was the code. I guarantee you it's still the code. You don't do that, mate. You don't declare someone from one end of the unit to the other unless you're pretty sure yourself and what you're capable of, and that you're declaring the person who's declarable. Basically, you can't just be throwing it around like. So I reckon. I mean, there's a part 2 to that story, but at that stage of the game, I was worse for wear, and not looking like coming out on top. So I'll leave that story at that, because I'll follow it up with another one, let you know how it wound up in the end. As you can see, I'm still here telling you the story. No, I'm not. I've never killed anybody, and I don't think anybody I've ever dealt with is dead from any of my stuff. But it's got a second part to that story, which I'll tell. I don't know, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, whatever. But that was a story about when I first got stabbed, and it was the worst getting stabbed because of the shiv that the guy used, a metal mop bucket, and the pin out of the roller. You know what I mean? It was rusty. It was infected. I know I went to Pentridge Hospital for a couple of weeks. I think I was in there till I healed up. Then they sent me to Wanron. But yeah, man, it was fucking scary. Fucking scary. Oh, I don't, man. I shit myself. I've fucking never been stabbed before, let alone with my eyes closed, not expecting it. I didn't even realise. I thought I was getting punched. But so I was very lucky. One bounced off the rib. I don't know if that's luck or bad luck, good luck, or whatever. But one, it didn't kill me. 2, fucking hurt anyway. And that's the story, guys. So I'll leave her.